Alright, let's dive into this game because, honestly, it's one of those matches that just screams statement win. Sydney Swans didn't just beat Port Adelaide, they demolished them, 97-point margin, and it's the kind of performance that makes you sit up and take notice. But what's really fascinating here isn't just the scoreline, it's how they did it. Personally, I think this game is a masterclass in midfield dominance and clinical finishing, and it raises a bigger question: are the Swans the team to beat this season? Let's break it down. First off, that second quarter. 9 straight goals. 9. Let that sink in. What makes this really interesting is the efficiency. Sydney converted 41% of their inside 50s, while Port managed just 20%. In my opinion, that's not just luck, it's a reflection of Sydney's ability to capitalize on opportunities. Port had more inside 50s overall, but the Swans made every entry count. From my perspective, this is where the game was won, not in the midfield battle, but in the forward line. Charlie Curnow's 5 goals? Huge. But it's the collective effort that stands out. What many people don't realize is that Sydney's forward structure is so well drilled that even debutants like Jase can slot in and contribute. That's a scary thought for the rest of the league. Now, let's talk about the midfield because, honestly, Errol Golden's 39 disposals and 5 clearances are just the tip of the iceberg. What this really suggests is that Sydney's midfield isn't just about individual brilliance, it's about systematic control. They dominated center clearances, especially in that second quarter, and turned them into goals. If you take a step back and think about it, this is the kind of midfield performance that wins finals. Port's Jase Burgoyne had a solid game with 34 disposals, but it wasn't enough. Sydney's ability to transition from defense to attack was just too much for the power to handle. One thing that immediately stands out is the impact of Sydney's team changes. Brodie Grundy's absence could have been a weakness, but William Green stepped up with 20 hitouts and 11 disposals. A detail I find fascinating is how Sydney's depth is being tested and proven week after week. They're not just relying on their stars, they're building a squad that can adapt and thrive under pressure. Compare that to Port, who lost Jason Horne-Francis to injury in his 100th game, a moment that, in my opinion, sums up their day. It wasn't just a physical loss, it was a psychological blow. What this game also highlights is the importance of momentum. Port started strong, leading by 2 points at the first break, but Sydney's second quarter blitz completely flipped the script. From my perspective, this is where coaching comes into play. Dean Cox's tactical swaps and Sydney's ability to execute under pressure were the difference. Port's disposal efficiency collapsed, and they couldn't recover. This raises a deeper question: can Port bounce back from this? Or is this a sign of deeper issues? Finally, let's not overlook the bigger picture. Sydney now holds 3 of the 4 highest scores of the season. That's not just impressive, it's dominant. Personally, I think they're sending a message to the rest of the competition. With a home qualifying final secured, they're not just playing for wins, they're playing for respect. And if they keep performing like this, the premiership might just be theirs to lose. So, what's your take? Is Sydney the team to beat? Or can Port Adelaide regroup and challenge? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more analysis. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.